I'm proud of our fight, the toughness that we showed, our ability to stay together. Our bench was really engaged in every timeout and in every huddle. We were all engaged.
6 records shattered. 1 point short. That's the heartbreaking reality Caitlin Clark faced after her electrifying performance against the Atlanta Dream. The scoreboard read 91-90, a loss. But the record books? They were completely rewritten.
Themselves into a early hole here. Clark looking to get going. Oh, that's a deep throw.
Get ready to experience the emotional roller coaster that was Clark's night against Atlanta. From controversial officiating that had her boyfriend tweeting in frustration, to the moment she demolished records that took legends hundreds of games to reach. One of them? Clark accomplished in 42 games, a feat that took Courtney Vandersloot 394. Let us know in the comments if you're still riding with the Fever, because after this night, they need the support.
This stinks. We want to win this game. But, I think this is great for our team. A little adversity. How are we going to respond? How are we going to come in here tomorrow morning and watch the film and learn and get on the court and get better? And like I said, that's why this league is so great. You have a couple days and then you get right back to it. You find a way to respond. We have a chance to go there and play them, actually, so it's even better, I guess. We can, get a little redemption if we go down there.
What if we told you one of the greatest individual performances in WNBA history still wasn't enough to get the win? That's exactly what happened. The Fever faced the Atlanta Dream in a thriller that ended in a gut-wrenching 91-90 defeat. 1 point. That's all that separated Clark from capping her record night with a victory.
I give my team a lot of credit, my teammates a lot of credit. We never gave up. We fought. We were right there. We found a way to get back in it. When things didn't seem very good for this group, at least we stayed together and we kept fighting, and that's a positive.
The final seconds told the story. With 9.7 seconds remaining and the Fever down by 1, Clark inbound to Natasha Howard. The original play was drawn up for Aaliyah Boston, but the Dream's defense cut it off. Howard got a decent look, but Nia Coffey blocked the shot. Howard recovered the rebound and tried again, but the ball just wouldn't fall.
32 free throws. It's a lot of free throws. Going to be difficult to win a lot of games when we foul people that much and put them at the line that much. It's tough. They made 25 out of 32. We still went to the line 26 times, missed 10. So that's the game really right there. It obviously doesn't come down to that, but it's just a little thing.
Free throws became the silent killer. The Fever shot just 16 of 26 from the line, missing 10 free points in a game decided by 1. Howard missed all 4 of her free throws in the fourth quarter. Boston missed a key one down the stretch too. It was an effort that failed them. They clawed back from double-digit deficits several times, but their defense couldn't sustain. The Dream dropped 31 points in the first quarter, 32 in the third. Meanwhile, the Fever held them to just 13 in the second and 15 in the fourth. Inconsistency cost them. And coach Stephanie White didn't sugarcoat the defensive breakdowns.
I didn't think we were disruptive at all. I felt like we let them move the ball wherever they wanted to. We had a lot of breakdowns in our coverages. We weren't really helping one another out. We played like 5 individuals defensively at times instead of collectively as a unit. And good teams take advantage of that. Atlanta was really good at getting downhill. They knocked down some tough shots, but when you dig yourself a hole, it makes it really difficult to use all your energy to come.
Atlanta's defensive plan worked just enough. They used multiple defenders and applied full-court pressure to disrupt Clark's rhythm. Dream coach Carl Smesko admitted, "We tried to keep it out of some people's hands, including Clark. We just hoped they'd have to take tough shots."
What was the plan defensively for the Fever's last possession of the game?
We just put a lineup up there that we thought could match up. We were gonna, if we needed to, we'd switch if we got hung up on anything. We try to keep it out of some people's hands, and we were just hoping to take a tough shot. And they probably got a shot that they felt good about, but we played really good defense on the shot. We, didn't foul and made it tough.
And inside? Indiana had no answer for Brittany Griner and Beatrice Montpremier, who combined for 40 points and 21 rebounds. Ryan Howard added 20 points with 4 triples. Defensive rotations broke down when it mattered most. Indiana's players looked unsure, hesitating on switches and help coverage. Chemistry is still forming. But none of that compared to what fans felt watching the officiating unfold. Even Clark's boyfriend had something to say.
Boston continues to show her frustration. It really started.
Imagine giving everything, breaking records, carrying your team, and losing because of missed calls. That's what this game felt like. The frustration showed on Clark's face. Coach White had to burn both her challenges in the first half. Let that sink in. One challenge was wasted on a blown out of bounds call that officials should have easily caught.
Disruptive, whether that first half, the choppy waters, the stoppages like Caitlin was talking about, and you guys never really were able to get in the pace like you've been talking about.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. You know, it's every coach's frustration when you have to use challenges on out-of-bounds plays. I mean, it is what it is. But for teams to win 3 challenges in the first half, I don't know that I've ever seen that either.
Clark's frustration boiled over. She drove to the hoop repeatedly, absorbing contact with no whistle. Arms raised, staring in disbelief. Her conversations with refs went nowhere. And fans saw it, clear as day.
To the ball, and Clark says part of her arm as well. Jump ball is. Well, she's just so impressive because it's felt like a relatively quieter.
Then came Connor McCaffrey, Clark's boyfriend, who lit up social media with a viral tweet. Good to see the W refs in mid-season form. Thousands retweets later, fans and analysts were echoing the same sentiment. Video evidence backed it. One clip showed Clark getting bumped on a 3-point attempt with clear contact, no call. It wasn't just about free throws anymore. It was about momentum.
The first half seemed pretty choppy with, the amount of fouls, the challenges. Just how did that affect you as the point guard and just the team's pace as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, to me, challenges cannot take that long. It ruins the flow of the game. I get it, it's early in the year, the refs want to make the right call. We can't sit there for 2.5, 3 minutes and on an obvious hit out of bounds off of them and still not know the call. I get it, there's things to look at, there's the clock, there's is the ball going to be taken out. But that's not the only reason the flow of the game was ruined, but we're just standing there, we're waiting and we're waiting and we're waiting. And then obviously, like I said, a lot of free throws shot between both teams tonight. That makes the game more choppy when there's a lot of fouls.
The missed calls didn't just hurt the stat sheet, they broke Indiana's offensive rhythm. The game got choppy. Unnatural. Clark said afterward it was hard to find flow. One commentator called the officiating terrible. Another labeled it hilarious, not as a compliment. The WNBA has some questions to answer. But even amid all that controversy, something magical happened. Records. Many of them.
Coach White is put in a position to have to use both her challenges in the first half on calls that were pretty point blank, and then we're left with none there in the second half, which, you can pick and choose. Maybe you save them, maybe you don't, but still, every single possession matters. But like I said, it doesn't come down to that. No matter what, if it's a choppy game, we got to find a way to find our flow a little bit better, especially to start the game and start this.
While the scoreboard showed defeat, history was unfolding. In a single night, Caitlin Clark broke 6 records and reached 2 major milestones. This wasn't just a standout game, it was legendary. Clark entered a league of her own.
Chance opportunity, Clark fire away and knocks down a 3. That is just that signature Caitlin Clark shot. She will launch. Oh, yes!
Let's talk numbers. Clark tied Courtney Vandersloot's all-time WNBA record for 20-point, 10-assist games with 10 such performances. But here's the catch, Vandersloot needed 394 games. Clark? Just 42. That's not just impressive, it's absurd.
There's that drive screen.
Bounce it for Boston. Boston lays it in. It's a 2-point game.
They haven't had much of that tonight.
She also became the fastest player in league history to reach 350 assists, doing it in 42 games. The previous record was held by Ticha Penicairo, who needed 47 back in 1999. Legends like Sue Bird and Teresa Weatherspoon? They needed 56. Remember Sabrina Ionescu's record for most 25-point, 10-assist games? Clark now owns that with 6. Ionescu? 5 years in the league. Clark? Year 2. She also became the first player ever to start a season with back-to-back games of 20-plus points and 10-plus assists. Most players dream of having one of those a season.
Times during the game, situational defense will be better because they have all those things. I think that's a combination of why they're going to have a much better defensive effort.
There's Clark with a beautiful find inside to
And her versatility? Off the charts. She's the only player in WNBA history with multiple games of 25-plus points, 10-plus assists, 5-plus rebounds, and 5-plus threes. Her stat line versus Atlanta: 27 points, 11 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, 5 threes on 9 of 20 shooting and 5 of 11 from deep. Oh, and she just became the 4th fastest player ever to reach 800 points. She's now tied with Chelsea Gray for the 10th most double-doubles by a guard in just 42 games.
Trying to speak into existence as 6 or 7 players averaging double figures. They believe it.
backdoor pass there from Clark to Kelsey Mitchell.
The last season and into this year. Such a great backdoor.
What makes Clark different is how she blends elite playmaking and scoring. She's not a shooter or a passer, she's both. Her consistency is what separates her from other young stars. Back-to-back 20-10 games to open the season is proof this isn't a hot streak. The scary part? She's still learning. Still adjusting. Still building chemistry. What happens when she really clicks? The records will keep falling. And for the league, that should be terrifying.
Opportunity, Clark fire away and knocks down a 3.
And then right here, boy, you've grown to love.
Despite the heartbreaking 1-point loss, the foundation in Indiana is clear: a dynasty is forming. Clark's record-breaking night paired with fixable issues, free throws, defense, execution, shows the Fever aren't far off. These aren't talent problems. They're chemistry issues. And chemistry grows.
Just flat. We missed free throws. We missed layups. We didn't really execute. They were physical. And I think that was kind of why we weren't, it didn't feel as smooth as we would have liked there.
The core is solid. Aaliyah Boston dropped a 24-point, 10-rebound double-double. Coach White praised her battle inside. Kelsey Mitchell added 24 of her own and showed much-needed leadership. Lexi Hull brought energy off the bench that changed momentum more than once.
It was outstanding. She battled, for what, 36, almost 37 minutes. And BG and Bree Jones are two of the best bigs in our league. I thought she did an outstanding job, and we got to learn and grow.
Now add the vets: Natasha Howard, DeWanna Bonner, Sydney Colson, Brianna Turner. Sophie Cunningham hasn't even played yet due to injury. This is a team still figuring it out. Coach White praised their resilience. We stayed together. We stayed engaged. Fighting back from double-digit deficits doesn't happen without belief and toughness.
B and Caitlin have played together, so they have this synergy, and really with DB and with Tosh, like how we bring them into the fold, so to speak, and that's a challenge that we're looking into. We're trying to figure out, shorter stints because it was an up and down game, right? And I felt like Kels, Caitlin, and Lexi were giving us really good stuff, on both ends of the floor, and it's tough when you feel like you're starting to get some momentum to sub. I probably should have subbed a little bit more in that second half. But
statistically, the improvement from last season is obvious. Better scoring, more assists, better shooting from deep. Their offensive rating is climbing even with growing pains. Clark said this game is a learning opportunity. They're building trust, communication, and rhythm. Sometimes, it's the painful losses that fuel greatness. When the fixable problems get fixed and this team becomes dangerous. Very dangerous.
It's a part of, being a professional athlete. It comes with the territory. Some nights is good and some nights is bad. Do I want us to make them? Yeah. Do they want to make them? Yeah. But I think that that's a part of the game. We can't, hang our hats on those missed free throws. However, as a professional athlete, it's important and imperative that we do have them. So
this loss to Atlanta revealed just how high Indiana's ceiling truly is. 6 records broken. Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell rising. Coach White put it best. We still have to figure out how to get all 5 players on the same page. But when that happens, when the talent, chemistry, and execution align, a championship isn't just possible, it feels inevitable. This is the rise of something real. Something historic. The Fever is coming. And the best part? This is only the beginning.